This is your Weather Xtreme video for Sunday, August the 14th. I'm ABC 3340 meteorologist Brian Peters. Thanks for tuning in. Our satellite image this morning is not showing the clouds up real well, since some of the clouds are stratus or fog, and those are not showing up real well on the infrared image because they're nearly the temperature of the ground. But we do have some places where we do have some clear skies across the area. On our surface map, the high-pressure system that has been the solid feature for the last few weeks is still there, but we are watching a front that is to our northwest, and that front may sag our way by the middle of the week. In the upper atmosphere, we're still dealing with this weakness in the upper atmosphere over East Texas and the lower Mississippi River Valley that is producing tremendous flooding issues over southern Louisiana and perhaps even into the eastern parts of Texas. Temperatures across central Alabama this morning generally in the lower to mid 70s, about 72 to 74 or so. I do note that we've see a couple of spots getting into the upper 60s, Fort Payne 68. And it does look like there's a little bit of drier air coming our way. On the radar this morning, it's clear across the state of Alabama, but of course they're still fighting with the rain issues across southern Louisiana and East Texas. On our watch warning map this morning, the green areas that you see, the dark green areas, are flash flood watches. The bright green are flood warnings. And then up on the East Coast, we have heat advisories and heat warnings. The orange are heat advisories, and the redder colors are excessive heat warnings. And we also have several of those over in the northern part of the Rockies and parts of the northwestern U.S. QPF, the quantitative precipitation forecast, suggesting that the rains will be a little bit less over that area, but they've already had so much over the lower Mississippi River Valley, with large amounts over Arkansas on the order of 6 to 8 inches possible in that area. And the excessive rainfall outlook for day one has moderate risk over southern Louisiana and the coastal sections of southeast Texas, as well as parts of northern Arkansas, southeastern Missouri, and across southern Illinois and Indiana. The Storm Prediction Center has only marginal risks today, one from northern West Virginia all the way up into southern Maine, and a second area primarily over western South Dakota. On day two, the marginal risk is primarily in the eastern part of North and South Dakota. And then on day three, we do have a slight risk back over Pennsylvania and New York, surrounded by a marginal risk extended all the way from coastal Massachusetts back into northern Kentucky along the Ohio River. And the tropics remain quiet in the Atlantic. There's nothing that's being watched. Of course, we do have this unnamed system over Texas and Louisiana. And then we have two areas in the eastern Pacific, neither of which is likely to develop into anything over the next few days. All right, the 06 CGFS model run, and fortunately this weakness is beginning to weaken even further and dissipate somewhat, but it's still producing a good deal of rain. And it looks like we're going to see a little bit less in the way of showers over our area today. And part of the reason for that is noting the precipitable water values. There's an area that you see green over eastern Alabama, and that is generally in the 1.2 to 1.5 range. So doesn't mean that we'll see no showers. It just means that the values are down quite a bit. The upper air chart on Monday, we can see that weakness now over about Oklahoma, the eastern part of Oklahoma. And, of course, that's still creating a good deal of rain, especially along that front up into Illinois and Indiana and southeastern Missouri. And we're just in the shower pattern. The upper air pattern Tuesday doesn't change much. We do note that there's a bit of a troughiness across parts of kind of coming through Minnesota and Iowa, and that also moves on a little bit further to the east on Wednesday. So there's where we begin to see some movement of the front. By Thursday, you can see that little trough has moved over to the eastern Great Lakes. While it doesn't have a real strong push to the southeast, it does look like it's going to bring the front down into our area. So Wednesday and Thursday, I think the chances for precipitation go up as the front moves in. Now, fortunately, it looks like while the pattern goes a little bit stagnant on Friday, we do note a fairly strong trough coming in to the Dakotas, and that pushes across into Indiana and Illinois. So it looks like we should see that front, probably another front actually, come down into the area over the weekend, so that by Sunday we're beginning to show troughiness over the eastern half of the country, and that should hopefully bring that front down into our region and perhaps give us, for the first of the next week, a shot at some real air mass change going on. Now, but that's verging on voodoo country. So going out into voodoo, we do note that by Tuesday, the 23rd of August, that we see a pretty substantial trough over the eastern part of the country. So that does support the idea that around the 22nd, we should see an air mass change with the first real front of the fall season. By the time we get out to Thursday, the 25th of August, we're beginning to see ridging develop once again. The main westerlies still to our north. And then by the time we get to the end of the period at 372 hours, or the 29th of August, August heat's back again. We've got the 594 contour out over western Texas, over the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles. So it looks like August heat is not over just yet. That will do it for the Weather Xtreme video for this morning. James Spann should be back with the next edition first thing on Monday. In the meantime, stay tuned to the blog for notes on Alabama's weather. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Have a great Sunday and Godspeed.